At first, I didn't think it was real. I woke up to this blinding light, and I was transported to another place. Pluto TV! Then I heard a voice.
Come with me if you want to live.
There were thousands of movies and shows, and they were all free.
The truth is ours.
It's just so beautiful.
On Pluto TV, free streaming of Terminator 2, Fringe, Arrow, The 100, and The X-Files may cause excitement, loss of sleep, and sudden belief in extraterrestrials. No credit cards or alien encounters necessary. Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me. Taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
It's the Anthony Cumia Show, and let's continue a little bit more with the amazing Rosie O'Donnell talking about Stephen Colbert's firing, which she thinks, of course, was Donald Trump, because everything that happens that she doesn't agree with or like must be Donald Trump. Yeah, a little more of Rosie here.
He's deluded. It's like me saying I'm the thinnest person you've ever seen.
Well, that's deluded.
I am. I don't wear glasses. I am. I'm not wearing glasses. Like, it's crazy. It's completely devoid of reality. That's the issue.
Joking.
And, you know, the sadness to know that he's been getting away with it, and the slush fund and his constant deluded, disgraceful behavior.
You could stop it right
there.
Very
proud.
It's so ridiculous how they talk about Donald Trump with the same language and terms that they should have used for Joe Biden. And that clown show 4 years where God knows who was running anything. We can assume it was Obama and company. But if you think Donald Trump telling a joke about, you know, I use the word dumb, it's got to be in it. A lot of people don't know that. That's funny. That's Donald Trump. If somebody, I don't know, Ronald Reagan said that, Jimmy Carter said that, you'd go like, huh, uh-oh. Donald Trump said it. He obviously says stuff like this. And it's to goof on the media, to be funny. Donald Trump likes being funny. But not a word. Did Herpy Lip Rosie say a word about Joe Biden and his lack of mental acuity during his tenure? Even before, during the campaign, when they hid him in the basement of his house? Remember that? And then the end of his presidency, where they're trying to drag him across the finish line. And he collapsed during that debate. Thank God. And that was that. And not a word from Rosie or the likes. George Clooney. Where were all those people that are speaking up and saying, oh, my God, did you see Donald Trump said he's the smartest guy in the world? You know, that's funny. They've all lost whatever sense of humor they may have had. They're incapable of identifying when something is funny or when someone's making a joke, even someone like Trump that you despise, that you cannot stand. At the very least, go, all right, he's busting balls. He's joking around a little bit. But nope. A sense of humor would entail you have intelligence, and you're able to make the distinction between reality and fantasy. And as we know, the left is completely unable to do those simple tasks. All right. This is, I want to talk about Mamdani and how he's handling crime, and most importantly, violent crime in New York City. How is he doing it? With violence interrupters. Now, the first time I heard about this, it was from another city. Can anyone guess? I wonder where this could be. That's right, Chicago. Mayor Brandon Johnson put in place violence interrupters. They are supposed to show up when there's violence, and anyone, and what are they supposed to? That's right, Bobby. Interrupt the violence. A lot of violence gets interrupted in these cities. You fire a bullet, someone interrupts the trajectory of the bullet with their body. So they do have violence interrupters, but these are different. These are people that they choose from gangs, prison, hardened, violent criminals, and they give them money, your money, taxpayer money, to try to sway the gang members to give up that life of crime and to interrupt the violence that is coming out of these gangs on the streets of New York and Chicago and many of these violent Democrat-run blue cities. It doesn't work. This is another fantasy world scenario. They get it from Hollywood movies where the hardened gang member, right? He's part of a gang. He's ruthless, but he's smart and he has a heart. That's always the way. They're not the dimwits that you see when they arrest these people and try them or you hear them speaking. They're clever and street smart, and they also have a heart. They know right from wrong, but the situation, life, has put them in a predicament where they know they have to do what they have to do. That's the fantasy movie version. And then when they they have some tragedy happen usually. Their mama gets killed or their little brother or something because of gang activity. Then they flip and they go, I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to use my power as a gang leader to get rid of this violence. It's so Hollywood. It should be, those movies should be under the science fiction or fantasy section of the movies when you're scrolling through Netflix. Because reality is a little different. Here we go. New York City violence interrupter who was charged with murder twice is now eyed by the NYPD in a slashing. An ex-con who worked for the New York City anti-violence group is being eyed by cops for slashing a man in the Bronx. The Bronx Rises Against Gun Violence worker who was twice charged with murder. I don't know how you're walking the streets, twice charged with murder, allegedly attacked a stranger around 3 p.m. May 5th near the nonprofit's Boston Road office, police sources said. Police horses? No, police sources. The 38-year-old victim told police he was walking to a deli in the East Bronx when a stranger slashed his left cheek and chin. The alleged slasher and the man with him, who also works at the violence interrupter group, ran. Well, police, when they went to the group's headquarters to investigate, they were told to stay out. We don't work with the police, someone inside barked. This is an organization that is being paid. They're paid. They're being paid by the city. Violence interrupters. Bragg. What is, hold on, let me see what this is. Bronx Rises. Oh, the group was listed as community partners in the city's blueprint to end gun violence. The initiative of former Mayor Eric Adams to prepare a plan of action towards removing guns from New York streets. What a bunch of crap. You know what removes guns from New York streets? Stop, question, and frisk. Under Giuliani, that worked like a charm. Not only were they taking guns off the street, but these thugs, the last thing they wanted was to catch a gun charge or to lose their gun. So if they were just going to go out for an evening stroll, they wouldn't take their gun with them. Cops were looking, just looking to put someone against the wall and frisk them down. That works. Police source said the incident is an example of just how insane the woke anti-violence nonprofit industry is and how dangerous it is. So someone on the city payroll whose job it is to prevent violence slashed someone in the presence of his coworkers, and they all fled together, said a stunned police horse. No source. It's insane, the source said. It's insane, Wilbur. The 38-year-old victim who spoke on the condition of anonymity because he fears for his safety. Why? I'm sure these are wonderful people that would never harm you. Said he was going to the deli. He just cut me from behind. Yeah. He had a 3-inch wound, bled profusely. He is outraged. The attacker is paid with taxpayer funds. It's bad enough. It's bad enough that these people are out on the streets perpetrating these crimes with impunity because we've had mayors, even Mayor Adams, who now looks like Giuliani compared to Mamdani. But they were all putting these policies in place. Anything possible instead of doing what needs to be done. Arrests, an actual trial by legitimate DAs and judges, convictions and sentences that matter. That's how you stop it. Not by paying murderers. This guy is a 2-time murderer, and they're paying him to go around and slash people in the face. Unbelievable. But here's Mayor Mamdani chit-chatting with a couple of the violence interrupters at a little sit-down in one of the New York parks at a picnic table, AC6. Let's listen in.
I remember somebody got killed in my neighborhood.
Killed?
And I was young.
I got killed.
Like
I dressed
12,
up like a
13.
Scot.
We desensitized to that. Like, it's normal, and that's not good because, like, it's not normal for somebody else to die. It's not normal to take somebody else's life.
Man, I got a long list of friends that I lost, and I don't really want to lose any more to that. People out here getting killed at a very young age. Where'd they go? Like, a lot of my friends have been shot. People went to jail, stuff like that.
We need to eradicate gun violence, stop senseless gun violence. Young people want to live. Young people want their community safe, and they're looking forward to it.
I've been impacted by gun violence in the streets, and now I'm trying to make a change. I'm trying to rewrite my story.
A lot of times you go through these kinds of situations, crises, and you're made to feel like you're the only one who's ever had to experience this. You're made to feel alone.
You have to show them that you care. And what we do with New York City Crisis Management System, as you know, Mr. Mayor, it's unconventional. Right, it's late night conversation. It's sacrifices that we make to interrupt violence. And I think ultimately at the root of it all, Mr. Mayor, it's truly showing young people that you care because the youth are seeking love. They're seeking love, and they're looking for men and women who come from the same world.
Seeking love down the barrel of a Glock.
They're looking for that, so they latch on to mentors like myself and all of us across New York City.
I think, the work that you do, the work that so many CMS providers do, in and of itself makes clear that this is a crisis across the city. That's right. And there's a lot more the city has to do to actually meet you halfway.
The violence is brewing up in the winter. People are getting into situations all winter long, and they wait for the summertime to come outside with a gun or come outside and handle their situation.
Who is he talking about? Could you pause that for a minute? Who is he talking about? Yeah, a lot of situations come up in the winter, and then the summer comes up and they go out with a gun. I've never known anyone like this in my life. I've never known someone that has built up a beef in the winter and they pull out a gun and go, who are these people? I don't know who they're talking about. I can in no way, shape, or form relate to what the hell this guy is talking about. It doesn't fit into society. The society I grew up in, was raised in, the rules that people adhere to, that we've all agreed to as a society, the rules that the police enforce because we've agreed to those rules. I've never heard something so insane in my life. And if you think a few of the same people The same murderers and thugs and assault, the guys slitting someone's face, are going to that's who's going to make the difference? When these guys are doing things that isn't even conceivable to a normal American citizen. You know what works? Curfews. You know what works? Cops who will roust these people that are hanging around causing trouble. Cops that are down in the subways asking, what are you doing here? What's your business? Yeah. We've gotten to that point. Oh, really, Nazi? Oh, what's next? Where are your papers? Yup. How about that? Can I see an ID? Yeah. How about that? Oh, that's not America. What, you think New York City is America? That's the America we're supposed to be living in? Where people walk around and get their face slashed, or they get raped, robbed, murdered? You just think that's okay? But doing something about it, like asking people questions, cops asking people questions on the streets and telling them to move along, you can't loiter here, and keeping them moving off of the subway platforms, that's a problem? That's where you draw the line and go, oh, that's oppression. That's fascism. That's Nazis. I take that. If a cop walked up to me at Penn Station and said, excuse me, can I see some ID? I go, yeah, here you go. All right. Have a good evening. That's what would happen. I kind of go, wow, it's terrible that we've gotten to the point where that's necessary. And if it was being done by some other force that was asking me for ID because of my political ideology, yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. There are different circumstances where that wouldn't be a good thing, and that would be very unconstitutional. And I would wonder why they need my information for what I believe in. If you're a group of people that are murdering, raping, robbing, assaulting, and it's gotten to the epidemic proportions in the city, something's got to be done. And if it's going back to stop, question, and frisk, so be it. Gun violence. Beefs in the winter. Guns in the summer. Get out of here. It's insane. If it's that bad, then the cure for it, the thing you need to do to solve the issue, can't be some easy peasy thing like send some other thugs out to have a little chit chat with the gang members. You think they give a crap? They probably look at these guys. First of all, they're in cahoots with them. Because I know one of the instances I read about in Chicago, one of these violence interrupters was using the money he was getting from the city to buy drugs and sell them through the gang that he was affiliated with. Great. So they're either in cahoots. If they was miraculously would find the unicorn gang member who actually is like ones in the movie, they want to change things and stop the violence, they would mock him and goof on him. You think they'd respect the guy? You got out of the game. I don't need to talk to your ass. You got out the game. There'd be a problem. Really. Let's be real here for a second. That's a whole fantasy world they're living in. Law and order, my friends. A billy club. A stop and frisk. That's what we need. It's gotten that bad. Sorry. Something has to be done about it. Back in a minute.